alternative version of the Hippocratic Oath. Is a reminder of our duty and responsibility and to perform in such a way that have is instructed to us by both Al-Quran and Sunnah. The oath of the Muslim physician should be taught and reminded to all Muslim physician. It provides a reminder to our connection to the Almighty and the way we must conduct ourselves with our colleagues and patients and others. So the definition of Tawheed. Tawheed is a central concept in Islam and refer to the belief that there is only one God, which is Allah, and it is the foundations of Islamic faith and practice. And it has a profound impact on the way of Muslims approach all aspects of their life. Actually, there are three main categories of Tawheed, which is Rububiyyah, which is the belief that Allah is the only creator, sustainer, and provider of the universe. Tawheed Uluhiyyah, the belief that Allah is the only one who deserves to be worshipped. Tawheed Asma al-Wasifat, which is the belief that Allah has perfect names, attributes, and that He is not like anything else in creation. Our group has come up with 6 example of implementations in clinical routines. The first one is hospital Al-Ibaadah. Second, prayer or salah. Third is meditation or zikr. Fourth, Al-Quran recitation. Fifth, Islamic counseling. And sixth is tazkirah. So the Quran recitation imply on the Tawheed of Rububiyyah, while prayer and zikr imply in the Tawheed of Al-Uluhiyyah. Islamic counseling and tazkirah fulfill the Tawheed. So through Quran, Quran, as we know, is a source of comfort and strength towards Muslims. So a healthcare provider can offer patient opportunity to listen to Quran recitation, or can provide patient with copies of Quran to read on their own. Through prayer and salah, Muslim actually mandate to pray 5 times a day. So this can be done even in a clinical setting. You must find ways. So we have to remind our patient to do so also. And if patient unable to pray on their own, we have to guide them. Through meditation and zikr, it's a prayer that can be used to focus on Allah and to find peace and tranquility. So healthcare provider can offer patient guidance on how to meditate or refer them to the qualified Islamic meditation instructor. Islamic counseling is a form of counseling that based on Islamic principles. A healthcare provider can refer patient to the Islamic counselor who can help them to deal with the emotional, spiritual challenges of the illness. Tazkirah, continuous tazkirah session will provide a platform for physicians to improve their own spirituality and may provide much needed rest from their hectic schedules. It may also foster a stronger sense of camaraderie amongst the staff. Hospital Al-Ibaadah is actually a certified program hospital under administration alongside with the JAKIM, started 2014. The objective is to provide patient and caretaker regarding the correct information of ibadah, to provide training and exposure to hospital staff on Fiqh, ibadah, and Islamic value. So there are a few examples how they conduct the hospital Al-Ibaadah. For example, morning prayer, the azans through the intercom, provider salat room, and many others. So the hospital Al-Ibaadah program provide resources such as literature, religious authority that will allow them to be more conducive environment for the practice of Islam. We propose that more incentive should be given for hospital across Malaysia to participate to obtain the hospital Al-Ibaadah. So several expansions should be made, such as counseling to staff members, integrative medicine, especially in the end of life care, or can providing culture sensitive care, providing information about Islamic perspective on health and illness, or refer to Islamic sources.
Next, I will continue with the implication and the benefit of Tawheed in clinical routine to the patient. First, it can provide the spiritual comfort in which the Tawheed emphasizes the belief in a single, all-powerful God who is compassionate and merciful. For the patient, these beliefs can provide spiritual comfort and a sense of peace during time of illness or distress. Having faith in a higher power can help elevate the patient anxiety, reduce the stress, and also provide a source of hope and also resilience. Besides this, also can provide psychological support in which the illness and medical procedure can take a toll on a person's mental health. So Tawheed offer a framework for understanding and accepting trial and tribulation as part of God plan. This perspective can provide psychological support by fostering acceptance, resilience, and a positive outlook on recovery. In contradict with a Western point of view, whereby Martin Seligman, who is an American psychologist, proposed that the theory of learned helplessness, in which when the person perceives that tribulation or the trial as permanent and pervasive, which beyond help, they will be more prone to commit suicide. Thus, patients who strongly believe in Almighty will never give up, as God would never test someone beyond their capability. Besides this, also have in a coping mechanism in which it encourages the patient to rely on the God guidance and seek solace in the prayer and supplications. Engaging with the spiritual practice such as reciting verse from the Al-Quran or performing zikir as a remembrance of God can serve as coping mechanism during difficult times. So this practice is very helpful to find the inner strength of the patients and also maintain a sense of connections with their faith and also higher purpose. It's also develop a sense of purpose in which it emphasizes the belief of the patient life has a greater purpose beyond the physical realms. This understanding can provide patients with a sense of purpose and meanings in their healing journey. This also can help them view their health challenges as opportunity for personal growth, strengthening their faith, and also serving God through patience and gratitude. Nowadays, people perceive healing as the way of recovering from mental or physical illness, yet undermining the effort to find the meanings behind the challenge. Next is also helps in the ethical decision making, in which in the Islamic teaching, including Tawheed, is provide ethical guidelines for various aspects of life, including healthcare. Those patients who adhere to the Tawheed may approach medical decision with a strong moral compass, considering factors such as preserving life, maintaining personal integrity, and seeking treatment that align with their religious belief. These can contribute to a more holistic and concise approach to healthcare decision making. And for example, patients who are ill will not simply throw away medication, but will return the medication that are not consumed to the pharmacy. Next is the community support, where this promote the importance of community and caring for one another. In the context of clinical routine, the patient who embrace Tawheed may find support and encouragement from their religious communities such as mosque and Islamic NGO. This support network can offer emotional support, practical assistance, and a sense of belonging, which are essential for the well-being of the patient. Therefore, in conclusion, Tawheed is the most important concept in Islam, and integrating Tawheed into clinical routine can have a positive impact on the healthcare experience of Muslim patients, and it's very important for the healthcare provider to understand and respect the religious and cultural needs of their patient. Thank you for the time and the attentions. With that, thank you very much from Group 1.
Okay, thank you, Group 1. So you have 10 minutes for discussion and answer. May I invite all the expert panel to give a comment regarding the presentation from the Group 1. We have welcome Dato' Hamidun.
Sorry, I'm late. Assalamualaikum. Sorry, I'm late.
Waalaikumsalam, Dato'. It's okay, Dato'.
Yeah.
The Group 1 is just presenting regarding the application of principle of Tawheed in the clinical practice, Dato'.
Okay.
Maybe any comment from the other expert panels?
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum Zaman Haris and Dato and other colleagues.
Shah Ibrahim, Zayak.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Just to you of the time, maybe Dato, I later can talk to you. I just want to give a very brief comment on the presentation. I believe the presentation is well done. one thing which need to be taken in consideration, actually in the medical area, is the most important area that Tawheed should taken in consideration, because of one major reason, that is in Islam we believe the cure is given by God, but the medical doctors give medicine to get the cure also. So the confused, who is the cure here? Yeah. Who is the cause of the death? Is it the doctor or the COVID-19? Sorry, is it the God or the COVID-19? If you go to the, or the patient, a family member come to you as a medical doctor, then they ask you, what is the cause of death? So you say the the cause of death is a COVID-19. But the religious person like me or like Dato come out to say, no, COVID-19 cannot kill. Allah kill the person. So this confusing happened. So I hope our young doctors should be very clear about this matter. Just I want to give one comment or one fact that actually this confuse happen frequently because God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create the death and create the cure also. As we see in Surah Tabarak alladhi khalaqa تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم. He created both the death and also the life. So he is a creator. So what we need to take in consideration when we're dealing with the medicine as a medical doctor is to know that there is two causes. Cause who is final one, this is we call it the first cause, and then secondary cause. Secondary cause is a medicine or disease or whatever that will cause a death or create the cure also. But the final, or let us say the first cause, is God. That is create the law itself. Okay. So as we take the Tawheed as being presented by our young doctors, then we must take in mind that we need to do our best to make the secondary cause. That means to take the all the care of the patient to save the life of the patient. Don't they say that no, if Allah qadar, then he will die, so no need to do anything, no need to do surgery, for example. No, you must carry out your duties fully. That is the secondary cause which Allah asks you to do. So when you do that, then the rest is we do dua, for example. So the cure will happen because Allah will take the what you call the other part of our efforts. So I think this is maybe one of the major things. And in our Islamic history, actually the people discuss this matter also. Sometimes it's very serious matter, just like what happened between Imam Ghazali and also Ibn Rushd. Okay, so Ibn Rushd is trying to give some power to the secondary cause. But Imam Ghazali, he believes that no, Allah is the real cause. But in fact, there is no difference between these two views because Allah is a final cause or the first primary cause that is creating the law of the things itself, creating the cause itself. Okay. But the other things is a secondary cause, like in our case. For example, marriage to get a baby is a secondary cause. So we do, then Allah will complete the other part. So these are the things which we need to understand as a medical doctor. So thank you very much again. It is well done. And I hope this kind of seminars are very, very important to expose the new doctors to the real aqidah or real way of the dealing with things according to the laws of God, sunnatullah, so that they are able to practice their profession based on their aqidah, not to do shirk or not committing shirk in any way. Okay, and so on. Thank you very much.
Shikin, Dr. Noor, may I give an input here?
Yeah.
I apologize for being late, and even that I have to inform Professor Shukran that I cannot be at the university because I'm with this group today and tomorrow. For me, this principle of Tawheed, I mean, for a Muslim, you can talk, you can articulate the principles and you articulate the requirements of Tawheed. But then it would be better if they realize it on their own, and we as doctors, and as I mentioned just now, the profession of being a doctor is a great profession. They're in the same pedestal, same level as those of teachers. And I would say we should reach out to them through our character, through the manifestation of Kulliyyah in our life and even in our aura. Aura meanings they feel the vibes through the way we talk, the way we deal with them, and so on and so forth. In the end, they just sit down, reflect, and say, "Wow, this is a good doctor. This is a very nice doctor. Why is he so good?" This is when they ask. Then we say that we as human beings, as I mentioned just now, Allah set down the Mizan, set down His laws, and we are supposed, as the Khalifa on this earth, but we are also given the tasghir, the opportunity or the capability to make use of what is in the cosmos. So when the scientists, the Kardashev scale was put down, when the scientists were talking about type 1 civilization, type 2 civilization, type 3 civilization, people will say, no, that's far away, that's and so on. That's something Islam will not consider, and so on and so forth. But it is more of the Khalifa given the opportunity to utilize type 1 civilization, all the energy produced by this earth, including the earthquake, tsunamis, and all these things. So we will reach type 1 civilization when we are able to utilize all of this energy. Right now, according to Michio Kaku and people of scientists like him, they're saying we are at 0.7, type 0.7, not there yet.
Not one yet.
Okay, so discovering this, and I said this now, we will show our signs in the horizon themselves. Discovering all these things will also bring you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in themselves, the doctor will have to say, if you ask me just now, why did he die? Is it because of COVID? I say, no, not because of COVID. Actually, he died because of, let's say, multi-organ failure. Why was it? Because of the infection, right? And the infection is so bad that it's so. Then why does this guy, they came in the same thing, he got better? Why did my father die? Why didn't the one beside him got better? Why did the one got better? We said they went to the same reason, the same melody, but different people, we ourselves cannot control what is going to happen. Different people, different spirit, different source. And in the end, it is the one who set all these rules, who set all this what they call it, laws and so on, is the one who will decide. So that is when we say, for us, we do our best. We know the reason according to science, but the one who really decide is the Lord. That is why when Michio Kaku was asked about, he said we can now indefinitely keep the physical body alive for years, maybe 100 years, maybe 1,000 years. If you go to nitrogenic freezing, they can keep 1,000 years. It's nitrogen freezing. So they're waiting for people who can later on defreeze it and make them alive. But we know there's another, as I told you just now, about the 5 faculties, you have the ruh. If the ruh goes out, it's out, right? Then your body will not move, right? You can keep it, right, alive by science. So he said, when the question was asked him, then you're saying that we will not die. He said, no. Death is something else. If you're saying about death, that people who there's no reason to die will not die, babies die, young children die. They're not supposed to die, right? They're not supposed to die, but they don't wake up in the morning. So what's the reason? So the actual reason is something like, what the ones during when they're asleep, right? This this melody. So sometimes they have to wear something that will control the breathing, right?
Yeah.
So these are the things we have to explain to them. We have only a certain limit, although we know the details, but the one who really decide is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you will not get the same impact of what you are saying this if their heart is already not touched by you. They are already, we call it, they already had a line between your heart and their heart. They know that you are always giving the honest opinion and the best opinion and the best knowledge to them. So I think this is where our Tawheed, our strong belief in Allah as the one and only one, the Shafi, the one and only one who can give treatment, or who can give what they call it, Shifa, and the rest is basically from our science and our discovery of his laws. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dato' Hamidun and also Prof. Ibrahim. I think a good explanation and from the expert panel. Yeah, mashallah, everything came from the Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So I think we shall proceed with our second group of presentation. We have online now is Dr. Maisarah Hani.
Yeah. Yes, Dr.
Yeah. You can proceed. You have 10 minutes for presentation and 10 minutes for the discussion.
So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. I'm one of the representative of Group 2. This is my group members, and this presentation is answered of the case scenario that were given to us is 2 questions. So the first question I will present, and the second question my friend will be present lah. So this scenario, these questions was the answer was supervised by my supervisor, assistant professor. Yeah, doctor. Was supervised by Assistant Professor Dr. Aminuddin bin Hasnul IIMP. Okay, so the question is, the question 1 is, you notice that your outpatient clinic in the morning session always end around 3 p.m. How can you, as a senior doctor in the clinic, ensure your colleagues have a chance to pray Solat Zuhur early? From the Jami' At-Tirmidhi, the book of Salat, Kitab Solah mentioned Farwa, and she was one of those who gave pledge of allegiance to the Prophet, narrated, the Prophet was asked which deed is the best. So he said, Salat is the beginning of its time. So from chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 43, defines, means establish prayer, pray arms stacks, and bow down with those who bow down. So chapter 4, Surah An-Nisa, and verse 103, in this mention, when the prayers are over, remember Allah, whether you are standing, sitting, or lying down. But when you are cured, establish regular prayers. Indeed, performing prayers is a duty on the believers at the appointed times. From the evidence of the Al-Quran and Hadith that I explained earlier, it shows the importance of prayer and the encouragement to perform prayers at their earliest times. Ruqsah, guided by the principle of Usul Fiqh in the topic of emergencies, particularly regarding Caucasians, Ruqsah refers to the leniency to ease. Alongside Ruqsah is Azimah, which refers to the original ruling. When Azimah, the original ruling, and Ruqsah, the concussions come into conflict, for example, in a medical case involving a critical ill and urgent patient whose condition may lead to death, if the treatment is delayed, there is a possibility of granting a concussion ruqsah. In this situation, it is compulsory. This concussion can be in the form of delaying or combining jamak prayers. Referring to the scenario, patients who come to the outpatient clinics are usually stable. Therefore, concussion ruqsah cannot be applied in this case. The original ruling, Azimah, must be followed. Ruqsah is a part of the Sharia and should not be followed based on the personal desire, meaning that concussions should not be granted without a valid reason. Therefore, in the case mentioned, the doctor should perform prayers within the prescribed prayer times, and ideally, they should be performed at the earliest possible time. So, the suggestion that we conclude that usually an outpatient clinic has multiple doctors, so they should take turns to perform prayers at the earliest time. Meanwhile, it is necessary to explain to the patient that they may need to wait a little longer to see the doctor because the doctor needs to take turn to pray. Number 2, providing a designated prayer area within the outpatient clinic is essentials. The room should be suitable and clean for prayer, preferably equipped with a sink or nearby restroom facilities. This way, the doctors do need to go to a distant mosque or prayer room, which may take a long time to reach and result in delays in the performance prayers. Number 3, we can improving the clinic schedules by implementing staggered patient appointments to avoid overlapping with prayer times. And the last one, consistently reminding and reinforcing our collective responsibility to worship Allah and emphasizing the significance of punctual prayer. That's for the answer of the first questions. So the second question will be presented by my friends.
Second presenter can continue.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
I can hear you. You can continue.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
Can you slide?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Wan Muhammad Idham bin Jafar. So I'm the second representative from Group 2. Then the topic that I was assigned to discuss is regarding Fiqh in Ibadah. So the question is, you are in charge of the male ward in your hospital. During on-call time, you realize that all of your Muslim stable patients were not performing Salah. How can you educate and stimulate your patients to comply with Salah obligation?
Sorry, Dr. Ilham. Sorry, Dr.
Yes,
Ilham.
yes.
Can you make it a slideshow? Can you make it as a slideshow for better view for the
All right. Okay.
You.
Sorry. So the obligation of the prayer has been mentioned multiple times in the book of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and then I managed to pick up 2 of the verses from the Quran that show the importance, the obligation of the prayer. One of the verses that is taken from the Surah Al-Imran, verse 43. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا مريم اقنتي لربك واسجدي واركعي مع الراكعين. O Mary, be devout to your Lord, prostrate yourself in prayer, and bow along with those who bow down. Al-Imran, verse 43. In another ayah, verse أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. صدق الله العظيم. Only Allah is your guardian and His messenger, and those who believe, those who keep up prayers and pay the parade while they bow. Al-Ma'idah, verse 55. Islam provides ease to those who are sick. It means that if he or she continues to pray in the customary manner, he will suffer hardship, or his disease will get worse, or his recovery will be hampered. Hence, Islam brings solution to that problem. So this is what we call rukhsah. If the patient is unable to stand up during Salah, he is allowed to pray sitting. If he is unable to pray in sitting position, he may pray while on his side facing Qibla by making gestures. If not, He can pray whilst lying on his back with his legs stretched out toward the Qibla. If he is still unable to do that, he will use his eyes. Indeed, Allah doesn't burden a soul. Jabir reports, the Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala visited a sick person and found him praying on a cushion. The Prophet pushed it aside and said, pray on the ground if you can. And if you cannot do it, then pray by making gestures and make your sajjah lower than your ruku', narrated by Al-Bayhaqi. Gesture means you should note his, he should note his head and make the note of his sajdah lower than that of his ruku'. Aisha narrates that she saw Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting cross-legged while praying, from An-Nasai and Al-Hakim. It's also permissible to sit in the manner that one sits while performing tashahhud, in which it is sitting position in between two prostrations. So this is the position that patients can do while performing prayer in sitting position. So how can I encourage stable Muslims to comply to Salah? So the first thing that I have to do is we have to prepare pamphlets about how to perform Salah during ill period and put it on each patient's bedside table. If patients need further explanation, please assist them. Some patients cannot read, and then please enlighten them about the obligation of Salah. Some patients do not really understand what is in the pamphlets, and please educate them about it. The second thing, we have to install and put a speaker on every time there's a call for azan in order to alert everyone about the prayer time. The third one, if there's no speaker in the ward, please assign staff nurse or doctors to announce that to every Muslim every Muslim patient about the call for prayer. And the next one is we have to make the ablution water spray available in each cubicle of the ward. And then please alert patients to use the water spray for ablution, because sometimes patients do not even know about its existence and its purpose of use. The next one is we have to enlighten patients that they can still pray even if they have CBD or stomach bag on. And then the next one, we have to make sure that hospital uniforms, patient hospital uniforms are always available at the nearest place to the patients, so that patients can reach them easily. Some patients want to change uniform before performing prayers because of the blood-stained clothes. And then for the caretakers, whether father, mother, or husband and wife, we have to enlighten them. Hospital staff, ward staff have to enlighten them to get the help from the staff nurse to clean up the patients together before praying. Even if without caretakers, stable patients can help each other to take ablution for prayer. And then the next one, sometimes patients do not even want to walk far from the bed to go to prayers area because of the patient's clinical condition. Hence, we have to make space in each cubicle for patients to pray. For example, at the edge of the room, because usually the prayer site is at the edge of the ward. So, so to make it easy, we have to make space for patient to pray in the room, or patient himself can always pray by the bedside. And then we can accommodate patient by providing mats in the room as well. So last but not least, everyone involved, doctors, nurses, caretakers, and patients, has to keep reminding each other about the obligation to perform prayers. We from the Suratul As, wal-As, innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus salihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. We have to urge everyone to the truth, and we have to urge everyone to perseverance. So before I end, I want to show one last video that I have taken the permission from the patient. Okay. Oh, Oh, it's okay. I think it cannot be played. But I've taken this video. So so these two patients are friends in the same room. So so the man sitting on the bed wants to pray, and then he asks for the help from his friend. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jazakallah
Okay,
khair.
thank you, Dr. Idham.
Yeah.
So we should proceed with the expert opinion. I think I would like to invite maybe Prof. Dr. Abdul Razak to comment.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, Dr. Nuraj.
Prof. Razak here.
Yeah. I'm just enjoying the presentations and discussions. Inshallah. Specifically, I don't have any specific, comment. I generally agree with the comments made. I mean, the discussion made by Brother Adham and his colleague. But if somebody, maybe Dr. Hamidun or others want to comment, please feel free. From my side, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Dr. Hamidun, is there any comment to the Dr. Idham presentation?
One thing, just one small thing, because this is in the Malaysian context, it's in the Arab world context, and even in the Western context. All these our people are very concerned about the physical cleanliness. So they would say, will they be able to pray with this and this and that, right? So I think what we said is very, very pertinent, that we should, when they come in, they must be, I don't know, in the West, in any place, even in the army base, they call the chaplain of the army, sometimes the chaplain of the church. The last time it used to be priests, right? But the last time I went, there was Brother Tariq. This was in 2004, who was an army captain and chaplain to the army base for all of those people in the army base, Christian, Buddhist, Muslims, but he's a Muslim, right? So his job is to explain to the people how to do your praying to your Lord. So it doesn't matter of which religion, but what the thing is that spiritual strength will give a good motivation, intrinsic motivation for the patient, especially those who has undergone a long time in treatment. So there's a certain stress being put upon him or her. So this is one thing. So in the Malaysian context, one example is that, well, we were playing football last time with the students and some of our staff. The azan was called for, and the ustaz, one of the ustaz say, okay, let's take wudu and let's just pray on the running tarmac, right? Or pray on the field. And then some students were not praying, say, hey, go and get wudu, let's go and pray together. And then he said, but our clothes is not clean. And then the ustaz said, what? You have taken a spill. I mean, have you peed in your sports tracksuit, or have you spread some feces in it? As long as there's no najis, this is it's all clean. Rather than you wait and then later on you do what they call it. They call it what? Qadha, right? They do qadha. Sometimes they do qadha, they do jama, maghrib and isha, and sometimes they do jama until the next subuh, right? So in the end, some of them have jama ta'ya, they don't even do prayer. So just because of that. So let's make it easy and explain to them, this can be done. And on this thing, there is the principle. The general principle is that, for example, the position, the action of praying. So especially for a stable patient or even for those not stable, the principle is that try to get to the best of form, as always. If you can stand, if you can sujood, prostration, you can do sujood. If you cannot bend your leg and so on, then there's another way to do it. But the thing is that to get to the closest as possible. And then the other thing, the other principle is that one, it is you cannot do things like this. There is also the principle that that difficulty will always call for things easier. So, for example, if in najis, right? I would say that for us here, even a drop will be very serious, right? But for a Maliki, a drop the size of a stain the size of a 50 cents. 50 cents lama dulu, So size of 50 cents is still ma'fu anhu. It is still forgiven. So this is when other things, when you know the reasons why, and then you want to go because it's so difficult, you can go to the next one, which is still within the context of the mazahib fiqhiyah, the fiqh mazahib acceptable to the Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the mazhab of Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So this is the thing, and your suggestion just now that to make it easy, that even beside the bed we should arrange such that there is space for people to do prayers who want to do stand, right? And this is the thing that that's very good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Hamidul. I think we still have 2 minutes for the second group. Maybe I would like to invite Dr. Usman if you have any comment to the group. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Usman.
I think for this presentation, mashallah, well done, well-rounded comments. I would just like to add, I think, like I saw in Ampang Hospital, they have quite a good multimedia system that is up and running, where when you're sitting there in the waiting room, they're already showing the different methods of wudu for patients and also the different methods of salah for patients. So I think while pamphlets may be something that is useful, we have so many apps and things nowadays. Maybe it could be one of the admission apps that are used when you admit your patients, since everybody seems to be phone literate nowadays. So this is just a small recommendation on my behalf to add to your toolbox that you have presented already. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dr. Usman. I think, I think we should proceed with group 3. Thank you, Dr. Idham and the team. The group 3 may show your slide. Okay, can you unmute yourself? Are you starting? Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
That's my slide. You can see my slide?
Yeah, I can see your slide. May I know your name, Doctor?
My name is Dr. Fauzan. I'm from orthopedic department. So we are from the group 3, and our supervisor is Dr. Fairul Anwar. So this is my group members.
Okay.
Wait, I tried to change my slide. Wait, I think got some technical issue. Still cannot move my slide.
Maybe you can reshare again.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Dr. Fauzan. So I'm from Group 3. This is I still cannot change my slide. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So sorry for the technical error. So actually for our group, we have given a task of 2 scenarios regarding performing solar in OT setting. So for the first question or scenarios, you notice that the operation that you are going to perform will last almost 8 hours. So you begin the operation relatively at 11 a.m. So estimated and the OT will end at 7 p.m. So how will you ensure all your surgical team will have the chance to perform solar? And we have another scenarios, which is you and your colleagues are going to perform emergency OT at 2 p.m. and the OT time is expected to finish during Isha. So what can be done in order not to miss the Asar and Maghrib prayers? So these 2 scenarios are almost similar. However, there is key points there, which is the first questions regarding the elective OT, and for the second question is at the emergency OT. So before we delve further, so I would like to describe first what are elective surgery. So for the elective surgery is the surgery that is scheduled in advance, which we have already tentatively arranged it beforehand. For example, excision biopsy, a diagnostic scope in orthopedic. So there's another type of surgery, which is the semi-elective surgery. So this surgery that must be done to preserve the patient's life, but does not need to be performed immediately. But we cannot also delay any longer if which may impact the complication later on. And another more common is the emergency surgery. So this emergency surgery is the medical emergency for which immediate surgical intervention is the only way to solve the problem successfully. For example, emergency seizure, intra-act, or explanatory laparotomy for surgical. So many scheduled surgeries can become urgent, and those that do not meet the urgency threshold, if delayed too long, can lead to persistent and seriously compromised quality of life for the patients, which may affect the development, mobility, fertility, or mental health. Many fatwas already discussed regarding the ruling of surgeon performing jamak for his prayers. In Irshad Al-Fatwa series 207, also mentioned regarding this. From the Surah An-Nisa, verse 103, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Inna salata kanat 'alal mu'minina kitaban mawquta. So in this ayah, Allah stated that the original ruling to perform the obligatory prayer is for it to be performed during its specific time. However, in Surah Hud, verse 114, wa aqimi salata tarafayn nahar wa zulfan minal layli innal hasanati yuzhibna as-sayyi'ati zalika zikri liz-zakirin, which means that an established prayer at the 2 ends of the day and at the approach of the night. Indeed, good deeds do away with misdeeds. That is a reminder for those who remember. So in Tafsir Al-Qutubi, regarding this ayah, Imam Al-Qutubi stated that the first part of the day is the obligatory subuh prayer. The second part of the day is the obligatory zuhur and asar prayer. The night prayer includes the obligatory maghrib and isha prayer. So this is how we perform jamak. So some contemporary scholars had include surgeons that are treating or are in charge of long hour surgeries to be eligible for rukhsah of performing jamak prayers. Sheikh Dr. Yusuf Al-Qadawi in Fatwa Al-Mu'asirah, he stated that he can jamak the zuhur and asar prayer, maghrib and isha prayer, whether taqdim or ta'khir, according to what is easier for him. Another fatwa, Sheikh Atiyah Sak, Chief of Lajnah Fatwa Al-Azhar, in his fatwa explained the opinion in the Mazhab Hanafi. He said that it is permissible for a patient to jamak his prayer if it's difficult for him to pray at the specific time. So usually for the jamak, always related with the musafir, but there are other groups that also can perform jamak. So number one is mother that is nursing her child while she experiences bleeding istihadah to avoid the difficulty of purifying herself for every prayer time. Group number two is people experiencing incontinence, also have difficulty to have and to be clean for hadas every time. And for group number three is people that are unable to determine the beginning of prayer times, such as those who live underneath the surface of the earth, such as miners or also astronauts. And then for the fourth is people that fear harm to his life, property or dignity, or harm to his living if he does not perform jamak, as people during war. So I want to stress group number 5, which is the people in a situation that it would be impossible for them to leave their work to perform prayers at a specific time. For example, is surgeon. This is based on fatwa Al-Ibaadah Al-Misriyah of the Lajnah Daimah li Al-Buhus wa Al-Ibaadah Arab Saudi. Also states that doctors that are in charge of surgery should pray at the specific time for prayers. However, in this desperate situation, it is permissible to perform jamak takdim or ta'khir, such as zuhur, combine zuhur and asar, and combine maghrib and isha. As for prayers that cannot be performed in jamak, such as asar and maghrib, or subuh and zuhur, they must be performed at the specific time, even if he has to be replaced with another doctor, or if there is another staff available. This is the ideal situation. However, if this is not possible, then it is permissible to perform the prayer late or replace the prayer, which is called after the surgery is over. And in Taqrib Fiqh al-Tabid, Sheikh Fahd bin Abdul Hazami said it is permissible for a sick person to perform jamak for his prayers if he is about to be operated on, and it will be impossible for him to perform prayers at the specific time. Thus, whoever that undergoes surgery that starts at Zuhur and ends after Maghrib or before Maghrib, but he will be in pain recovering from the surgery and cannot perform his prayers, then he can perform jamak takdim for his Zuhur and also Asar prayer. So the same thing is applicable for the doctors that perform the surgery as well. Sheikh Walid bin Rashid Al-Saidan in his book Al-Qawaid Al-Shari'ah fil Al-Masail Al-Tibbiyah, it is permissible for a surgeon to perform jamak for his prayer if he is unable to pray at a specific time due to the surgery he is performing. And based on the Muzakarah of the 54th Malaysian Council for Islamic Religious Affairs, Fatwa Committee on the 23rd of January 2003. So in this Muzakarah, they discussed regarding the issues of Muslim workers in factories who cannot perform the obligatory prayers. So in this Muzakarah, they decided that praying is an obligation for every Muslim, and the obligatory prayers cannot be performed in jamak without reasons permitted by Sharia. It is advised that the authority must discuss first with the factory's management to find a solution so that Muslim workers can perform their prayers at the specific time. So for the conclusions and also the answers, my friends will continue my presentation.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Fauzan. I'm Dr. Khadijah. So in regards to the conclusion, from the fatwas showed before this by Dr. Fauzan, there's apa ni? Ask you to stay my screen. Nampak. Okay.
We can see it.
All right. Okay.
You can proceed.
So we hope. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Asikin. So we hold the opinion that it is permissible for a surgeon to perform jamak for his prayers if he is performing hours-long treatment or surgeries. So Dr. Fauzan, can we proceed to the next slide? Okay. And however, it depends on the situation. So, for example, to answer the first question, this facilitation applies only if there is a threat towards the patient's lives, where the patients need the doctor to be attending during the whole operation. So, for any next slide. Okay. And also if there are no replacements for the doctor, meaning that if there is another doctor or another medical staff that is qualified to do the surgery, then he should be replaced and he should perform his prayer normally. In this case, it's not to perform any jamak prayer. Because for example, if in a surgery that if he is the only one that is an expert to do that surgery, it is permissible for him to do the jamak prayer. But if there is another person who can continue or can take care of the surgery as well to help preserve the patient's life, then arrangement should be made so that each of the surgeon can pray the prayer, the solah without having to jamak it. Next. Okay. So for the task number 1, for the elective operation, since this is an elective surgery, meaning it's being pre-planned before, the surgeon and his team must perform his or her solah at a specific time, provided they are replacement for the surgeon. Okay, but then if there's no replacement, then the surgeon itself can, for example, for this case, electively begin at 11 a.m. and will end around Maghrib time. So the surgeon can decide whether he wants to pray during Zuhur as jamak takdim or jamak takhir. Okay, but the ideal situation would be when we plan for the surgery, it should be taken into consideration about the timing of the salah itself. So that we can not only plan about the equipment to be used, but also to plan about the timing of the salah or people who can replace temporarily during that operation for each of the respective member of the team to perform salah lah. Okay, next slide. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Khadijah, you running out of time.
All right, okay. And then for the task number 2, what can be done? Again, if possible, is to perform at a specific time. If not, the answer is to perform jamak lah. Okay. I think that's the last slide. Okay, so the conclusion is solah is an obligation for all Muslims, and jamak is only permissible for reasons permitted by Sharia. So if there's rukhsah, we try to do accordingly lah, as we discussed before. Thank you. Sorry for
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Khadijah. A very comprehensive presentation. I think I would like to invite Ustaz Abdul Rahman to give expert opinion regarding the topic for the group number 3.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Congratulations for group 3 for the, I think, comprehensive answer based on session. Okay, just little comment. First about the actually in Mazhab Syafi'i, when we talk about Mazhab Syafi'i, there is no jamak for the illness in Syafi'i, but it's no issue because the contemporary scholars, they have the fatwa as mentioned by the presenter just before this. So the latest fatwa is illness or illness related as a surgeon and so on is permissible to do the jamak. Just for information for all of you. Okay, the second one, maybe for the OT setting, maybe we can think to be more friendly to perform the prayer inside the OT or just behind the OT theater. Maybe after this, in some condition, maybe surgeon not need to go out just to perform the prayer. Sometimes the surgeon need to be with patient maybe just 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So if we have dedicated places at the OT, we can perform prayer straight. I think maybe we can think about this.
Excellent.
Just the last one, I think about the slide. Say that Sheikh Atiyah Sakar is ex-chief fatwa Egypt, not the current, just ex-chief. Yes, awesome.
MashaAllah, thank you.
Yeah, MashaAllah. Thank you, Ustaz Abdul Rahman. I think we still have a few minutes. Maybe Prof. Dr. Aminuddin want to comment anything?
Just a cheap, simple things apa semua. By experience, as a surgeon, we used to operate for 26 hours during Ramadan, whatsoever, for long surgeries. 26 hours, 12 hours, which is obviously they will cross the border of the solat the time. So my advice is whenever you start doing surgery, the surgery done by team. It's not only one single person, in which you can plan ahead what you should do, how, when you should stop everything. Even the surgeon also, they cannot operate for 12 hours straight. They have to stop and then break for passing motion or for whatever reason, for minum or whatsoever. So they can plan, and then the most important thing is the team leader. They should know the obligation of everybody to pray, not only the surgeon, but also the anesthetist and then the staff nurses. Most of the time, the nurses they are afraid to ask permission to go out for prayer or whatever. I mean, the problem is the leader, the lead surgeon has to be responsible for the whole OT. So I need to mention to all you as a specialist, you are performing the salah, but others also need to perform the salah. And then through that, like Ustaz Rahman and then the speakers mentioned about the way that you can jama, you can do the jama before times or something like that. That is complementary to whatever you are doing now. In fact, I used to stop during surgery because you put the tourniquet, the tourniquet just to make sure the blood is over semua, and you have to stop about 2 hours. So we stop that, and then everybody have to stop. They ask anesthetist to give you a favor and then keep the patient, and then we go out for pray, for makan, and come back. That can be done actually, inshallah. It's up to we see how the limit that we have to face. Inshallah.
Thank you, Prof. Dr. Aminuddin. I think we as a specialist need to act as a leader during the operation. Okay. I think we should go for the group number 4.
Just one comment, Doctor, please.
Oh, okay.
What Dr. Amin said is correct, and also the others are saying that if it is stuck for time. One thing first we must remember, the time of every salah is a range. It is not a pinpoint. Although in normal circumstances, the best is to do in jama'ah. And you see most of the mazahib, they do the zuhur and asar, where you have long range during the beginning of time. However, in Hanafi, if you come to KL or anywhere, you miss Salat al-Jum'ah at any of the Shafi'i masjid, you can go to the Hanafi masjid. They pray at 2:30 Salat al-Jum'ah. Yeah. So for them, it is better wait for the numbers rather than doing in the beginning. So Jibril came to teach Rasulullah SAW that the time of prayer, there is a range to it. As long as you do not touch the waqtu darura, for example, you miss, you were praying Asar, and after 2 rak'at, people call the azan for Maghrib. That's waqtu darura, and you keep doing that, it is already sinning. However, if it is something that you can plan for, then that is good. That is number one. Number two is that at any particular time, just as a reminder, if there is a darura, right, and it's a matter of life or death, then you just carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hamidun. Okay, so I think we proceed with the group number 4. Yeah, may I know who presented? Dr. Afifah, eh? Afifah, we cannot hear you.
Boleh dengar tak?
Okay, we can.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Right.
So you have 10 minutes for presentation and 10 minutes for discussion.
Can you see my slide?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the opportunity to present in this session of IIMP. I'm a representative of Group 4 under supervision of Associated Prof. Dr. Sam Hanim, and this is our group members, consists of me, myself, Dr. Nur Afifah from ONG, Dr. Megan Balakumaran from Surgical, Dr. Shahida from Family Medicine, Dr. Farah Najihah from Psychiatrist, Dr. Wan Nur Shabila from Internal Medicine, Dr. Muhammad Sufi from ONG, and also Dr. Ting Bik King from Anesthesiology. Okay, so basically our topic is based on Fiqh Ibadah. This morning we have one session with Ustaz Abdul Rahman regarding Fiqh Ibadah. So mainly our question is based on this Fiqh Ibadah. So for introductions, around 30% of patients in ward neglected their solat during admissions. This study was done in 2013. This is study on awareness, knowledge, and also practical of solat among the inpatient ward by Muhammad et al. So
Dr.
from
Afifah,
yes?
can you make it as a slideshow?
Slideshow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So from these studies, 109 participants was recruited, and 32% of the patient neglected their solat. The reasons given because no knowledge or poor knowledge. So this is the questions that we give that was given to our group. Your patient had an open wound and it is currently bandaged over his forearm. He asked you whether he can take ablutions and perform solat. How can he perform it? So yes, he can take ablutions. Prayer is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, obligatory act for every Muslim. Allah facilitate it and allow various ways to perform it in compliance with one state. Okay, how can he perform it? Allah the Almighty says means and has imposed a difficulties on you in a religion, which sustain a wound or a broken organ, permissible to wipe over the bandage or the spleen, cover the organ for fearing of harming it. If wiping over the bandage damages it or harm the injured organ, then leave it out and prayer is still can be performed. If it is permissible for a person not to wipe over the bandage or the spleen, if he feared harming himself, but if he didn't and left it out, then he should make ablution once more while with wiping or reforming the prayers. However, not wiping over the bandage or the spleen without a religious excuse renders ablution is invalid. Okay, this is if cannot take the ablution using water, they can perform a tayammum. So this is a diagram of step how to perform tayammum. The organ that we need to do a tayammum is face and also the both arm. Okay, this is a short clip on how to perform ablutions in patient with injury over the organ involved in the ablution.
If you have a leg on the body part, slowly down, and it does not cover completely, then you need to do what's called a Takbirah. For example, place the hands, the knees, and the head apart from the cover of the shoulder. Then you will only need to do what's called a Takbirah. What to do? Go to wudu, Takbirah, and Tayammum. If a bigger bandage covers a major part of what is normally done, then you need to do both wudu and Tayammum. For example, the face, hand, feet, and head are mostly covered as shown. Then you need to do wudu and Tayammum. So how do you figure out wudu? If water can go to the skin and it is not harmful, if water is harmless, then water is underneath the basket, that is all another danger. If the water is harmful, the body is covered, the hand should wipe the bandage, plaster, or stent if required. If the bandage is not waterproof and very effective, then put a plastic bag over the cast. Then put washing over the plastic bag. If the bandage is damaged and cannot be removed, a clean piece of cloth should be placed over the affected parts of the body, and the wet hand should be wiped over that clean cloth. The surrounding uncovered and unaffected areas should be washed or wiped. If all the parts of the body that are to be washed or wiped there is no injury, but water is harmful for some other reason, then Tayammum alone should be performed. How to perform Takbirah Tayammum? If a person does not have water or needs to do Tayammum instead of wudu, but also has an injury or burn on the forehead or on the back of the head, after which Tayammum is done, and if it's not possible to remove the bandage, then he or she should strike the palm on the ground as is usually done in Tayammum. After rub the palm over the bandage instead on the skin. How to perform Takbirah? Also, Takbirah follows the same logic as wudu and Tayammum. When it is possible, wash as normally done and loosen the unaffected parts of the body, and wipe only with water within each part. Put a plastic bag over the cast if it cannot get wet, and clean your ghusl as normal over the bag. If even that is not possible, the ghusl becomes wajib, and Tayammum can be done in place of ghusl.
I hope this video session simplify all the understanding of how to perform wudu in patient with wound over the wudu organ. Okay, for the second questions, your patient is currently on stoma bag in which the feces and its contents are always present in the stoma bag. He asks you how can he perform salat? How about the feces come out during the salat? Okay, how to perform salat with the stoma bag? Should perform salat as usual as Muslim prayers, but if having any limitations, ruksah salat can be used. Limitation means if patient cannot be standing up, he can perform salat by sitting down. If cannot sitting down, he can perform salat by lying or using the eyes. Okay, the way to take ablution and perform salats depend on the limitation of patient itself. Okay, the main concern for patient with stoma bags, does the discharge of the feces into the colostomy bag invalid their ablutions? Or should they empty the colostomy bag every time they perform the ablution or pray? Okay. According to Jamaah Ulama Meeting, Muzakarah Jawatan Kuasa Fatwa Majlis Kebangsaan bagi Had Ehwal Agama Islam Malaysia kali ke-79 in 2017, patients who are required to use colostomy bag considered to be in the category of individuals with valid excuse, uzur syar'i, and are bound by one of the conditions that invalid ablutions, which is the discharge of anything from the two natural outlets, meaning from the urinary or anal, are required for a healthy person. Therefore, the ablution is not invalidated even if the feces came out into the colostomy bag. Their condition is similar to someone experiencing continuous urinary dribbling, or a woman experiencing abnormal uterine bleeding, which is istihadah. In both of these conditions, it has been agreed upon by the fuqaha that their ablution is not invalidated even if something has come out from their private parts after performing ablutions for prayer. The use of colostomy bag can also be considered as a mechanical intestine, serving as a substitute for the original intestine and being a part of the abdomen. As long as the feces has not been discharged from the colostomy bag, it is considered to still be within the patient body, and ablution is not invalidated due to the discharge of the feces into the bag. When performing ablution, patients who use a colostomy bag are not required to empty the bag every time they perform ablution, unless doing so will not inconvenience the patient. They are required to perform ablution when the time for the prayer has entered and promptly proceed with the performing the prayer once the ablution is complete. Meaning, during our session early this morning, if patient on colostomy or patient with istihadah, urinary dribblings or incontinence, they should perform ablution, then immediately perform solat once the prayer waktu semayang dah masuk. Okay, additional explanation from Al-Fadil Ustad Tuan Safwan in Malaysia, two fatwa has been used. The argument are followed. What invalidates ablution wudu is the discharge from anything, regardless of its nature, from two natural outlets, meaning from the urinary or the bag from the anus passage. However, in patient with stomach bag, the feces are a discharge, not come from these two passages. Therefore, the ablution is not invalidated. Imam Shafi'i stated, vomiting, nosebleed, and bleeding that does not come from the area impurity do not require ablution wudu, just as bleaching, which changes the condition, and the saliva, because they are not come from the exit point, impurity such as urinary and anal passage. This can be referred in Al-Hawi Al-Kabir, authored by Imam Mawardi. Imam Mawardi state anything that is discharged from other than two natural outlets, urinary and anal passage, not invalidate ablution, whether it is something pure like tears and saliva, or impure like vomit, blood, or nosebleed. And this is the opinion of Ibn Umar, Ibn Abbas, companion of the Prophet, Ibn al-Musayyab, Al-Qas, Muhammad's successor, and Imam Malik, Rabi'ah, and Abu Thawr.
I think Dr. Afifah, you are running out of time.
Okay. In the matter of whether to bear impurity, one of the arguments supporting the permissibility is as follows. Aisyah reported that Fatimah bin Abi Hubaysh came from the Prophet, peace upon him, said, "O Messenger of Allah, I'm a woman who experienced prolonged menstruation, istihadah, and because of that, I am not in the state of ritual purity. Can I abandon prayers?" The Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, replied, "No, do not abandon the prayer, even if the blood falls into the prayer mat." This hadith is narrated by Ahmad. Jabir reported that during battles, a man was shot with an arrow on his blood was flowing, yet he continued to pray by bowing and prostrating. This hadith is narrated by Bukhari in suspended mulak. Okay, as a conclusion, Muslim community used to perform prayer even with their wounds. So this is our resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Afifah, for the comprehensive presentation. I think for this group, I would like to invite again Ustaz Abdul Rahman. Is any comment for the group number 4?
Okay, group number 4, I think there's no comment because it's already comprehensive with the opinion from the mazhab and so on. I think the same like the lecture before. I think nothing to add. But the one thing I think the condition of patient we need to know first, because the advice from the medical side. Because in Fiqh we can say okay, it's permissible, it's not possible. But if we say the quotation or the notation, if harmful, if possible, If possible of harmful, who know that is medical officer, specialist, and so on. So in Fiqh, we need scholar, we need advice from the medical side to decide whether it's harmful or not.
Thank you, Ustaz.
I share a personal experience. I'm going to share a personal experience.
Yes, Datuk.
Ahlan, Datuk.
Ahlan, Abdul Rahman. It was 2008. So it was Zohor. I came back, take my daughters from school, went back home, and put my track suit on the bed because I'm going to run after Zohor, and get my wudu. And then I had a hit in the middle, right in the middle of my chest. So I thought it was, just a blood pressure. Nothing pain, no other signs before that. Just a blood pressure that doesn't want to go out. So I went to the kitchen, drink some water, and on the way back to my bedroom, then I started sweating profusely, the cold sweat. And after a few moments, my fingers becomes tingling. Then I said, no, this is heart attack. So I put on my shirt again, call our doctor, our clinic, Dr. Dinon at that time. I said, please send an ambulance now. I'm having a heart attack. So I went outside and just sitting down and waiting and concentrating on my breathing, which is not that bad actually. I was still awake and I was still conscious of surrounding. And the pressure is that pressure. It does not escalate into a painful thing. And in my heart or in my mind, it is, oh Allah, if this is it, I have no other way but just to leave everything to you. And, please accept me, right? Preparing, that's it. And then I'll just concentrate on my breathing. Then the ambulance came, and before, but less than 10 minutes, I'm already in hospital Selayang. So you must remember, I have not done my Zohor, right? So they put 3 ECG, 4 ECG machine. They said, no, you have a very major heart attack. But I was conscious. They were discussing between them. We don't know, man, this one is 50-50, the doctors in Selayang. So, and then they give me morphine and so on and so forth, 3 doses of morphine, I'm still awake and so on and so forth. And my concern is that since it's coming to Asar now, and I said, if they don't allow me, then I'll just have to do Jama' Ta'khir. So Alhamdulillah, about 1 hour before Maghrib, they said, you want to go to the ward? I said, I would like to perform my prayers. They said, no, you cannot stand up. We don't want to risk that. You just stay on your bed. I said, can I sit down? Just sit down. Then the Muslim doctor now realized, yes. Okay, Ustaz, you can do your prayer. So they give me a bottle of water. I do my wudu and they turn towards the Qibla and I just pray Jama'. Right? So sometimes for us, we must know that prayer is an obligation and Allah has made it easy for us to perform anyway. Ju'alat al-ard tahura. That Allah, Allah said that Ju'al al-bahru hilun maytatuha wa tahurun ma'wa. That the sea is given to me where the dead sea animals are halal to me, even though it's as big as a whale, and even though there is merman or mermaid, if they cannot live on land, we can still eat them if they are corpse. You don't have to slaughter them. So and the sand or the earth is given to me as tahur, is something that will purify me. That is why the tayammum. All right. So you group 4 tahniah and also all the other groups, but you have already encapsulated what is supposed to be there. And we just want to put it into practice to make Salat easy to anyone we have at the hospital or at the place where we work later on, inshallah. And of course, doctors just to show the example.
Thank you, Datuk, for the experience. I think, is there any opinion from the expert before we proceed with the group 5? Okay.
Dr. Sikin, sorry,
yeah.
Actually one participant gave a question through chat box, direct message to me. I just need to read. Assalam, I have one question. Can we apply small amount of water instead of tayammum for ablution for patient having cast for fracture of a limb in case there is no material for tayammum? He would like to direct to Ustaz Abdul Rahman. Thank you. Ustaz?
Sorry, can I the question?
The question by Mr. Izwan is that can we apply small amount of water instead of tayammum for needs for ablution over cast, example over the limb, in case there is no suitable material for tayammum?
Okay. Banyak mana nak guna the critical the part of water tu, how much we can do, we can use the water, because the requirement for the water to be the we know we call as a wash, basuh, we need to dia kena mengalir. This is minimum. If we can use water until mengalir, so we can consider as wash. But just spray, but tidak ada aliran apa-apa, is not considered as wash, as based on scholar opinion. So I not sure about the procedure. We can use how much water. Mungkin Dr. Saiful mungkin can respond about this. But the baseline we can call as a water as a wash or not. If you can see the water, we can mengalir ke bawah, is considered as wash.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think that's answer already for the question, Ustaz. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ustaz Abdul Rahman. Okay, I think we shall proceed with the group 5. Yeah, I can see Dr. Muhammad Zuhaidi. Are you presenting for group 5? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you may proceed now.
Can you see my slide?
Yes, I can see. Can you make it as a slideshow?
I put on slideshow already.
You put on slideshow already.
Okay.
But we are seeing the presenter punya view. Maybe you can reshare. Okay.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon. I'm Dr. Muhammad Zuhaidi from Family Medicine Department. So I'm and also my colleague Muhammad Nakuddin will present today's question. Question 1 by me and question 2 by Dr. Muhammad Nakuddin. So our group member are Dr. Pang Pipin from the NS, Dr. Salma from Internal Medicine, Dr. Muhammad Nakuddin from Psychiatry, Dr. Armugiles Warren from Ortho, Dr. Amirah Husna from ONG, and Dr. Siti Khadijah also from ONG. Our supervisor is the Assistant Prof. Dr. Muhammad Saiful Ihsan bin Shalihin. So I go to the introduction first because our topic more to the fasting lah. So fasting is called Saum in the Quran. Saum is in the Quran. The word Saum is literally means to abstain. According to the Sharia, the word Saum means to abstain from all those things that are forbidden during fasting, from the breakdown to the sunset, and to do this with the intention of fasting. So the ayah support for obligation of fasting, which are Surah Al-Baqarah verse 183, which are you who believe fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may be mindful of God. The other ayah is the the Surah Al-Baqarah ayah 185, which are the month of Ramadan is the one in which the Quran was revealed as guidance for mankind, as clear sign that show the right way and distinguish between right and wrong. So those who witness the month must fast in it, but the one who is sick or is on a journey should fast as much from other day as he miss. Allah intend to provide ease for you and does not intend to create hardship for you. All this is so that you may complete the number of fasts as prescribed and proclaim the takbir of Allah for having guided you, and so that you may be grateful. Surah Al-Baqarah verse 185. So David is a Rosa and also people that permitted to break the fast. Rosa is or concession means ruling sanction due to the hindrance or hardship. The people that may break fast are the people who is sick, traveler, pregnant and breastfeeding lady, all people that cannot fast, menstruating and postmortem women, and also insane people. So for the question 1 was given, Gravida 1 para 0 at 24 weeks at period of gestation has diabetes complicating pregnancy. She wants to know if she could fast. HbA1c at Bukit was 9.8. So our references from Practical Guide of Diabetes Management in Ramadan from MOH and also MOH. So for the pregnancy, is patient are at risk developing complicating during fasting. His very high risk is special history of severe diabetes complication within 3 months prior to fasting, which are severe hypoglycemia, ketoacidosis, hypoosmolar hypoglycemia coma, recurrent hypoglycemia, hypoglycemia unawareness, acute illness, sustained poor glycemic control more than 9, pregnancy and advanced renal failure. So our patient was categorized at very high risk because she was pregnant. Other categorized in the guideline which are the high risk moderate hypoglycemia HbA1c 7.8 to 9, moderate renal failure, advanced microvascular complication, even treated with insulin or sulfonylurea, patient with comorbid condition that present additional risk factor, old age, treatment with drug that may affect meditation, and also patient with comorbid condition that present additional risk factor. So moderate risks are well-controlled diabetes with short-acting insulin secretagogues, and also low risk is a well-controlled diabetes with lifestyle therapy, metformin, acarbose, thiazolidinolines, and or incretin-based therapy in otherwise healthy. So for this patient, from the recommendation was should be strongly advised against fasting during Ramadan in lieu of it categorized under high risk. However, if she insisted, does she need special attention? How? We need to manage in a high risk clinic, start with by ONG specialist, diabetologist, nutritionist, diabetes nurse, and educator, and based on appropriate diet and intensive insulin therapy. So other than that, we need to educate the patient. How we want to educate the patient? So I proceed with NAS first. NAS permit for pregnant woman to not to fasting. Hadith for Anas bin Ibn Malik radhiyallahu an, Allah the Mighty and Sublime has waived half of the prayer and fasting for the traveler, the pregnant woman, and the sick. Sunan At-Tirmizi, Sunan An-Nasai, and Sunan Ibn Majah. So what the education we want to provide to the patient? First, we focus on causation, early recognition, and emergency management of hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, dehydration, renal colic, and impending DKA and SHS. So self-monitoring of blood glucose at home, which we can do during Ramadan, especially.
Sorry, you have 3 minutes, yeah?
Oh, sorry. Self-monitoring, urine ketone, and then also meal planning, which are low glycemic index, less fat, and more high fiber. Patient empowerment to increase participation or motivation to total compliance. So diet is low sugar diet, inclusion of fruit and fresh vegetables, and also cook and boil vegetables, delay sahur, after itar, encourage for sugar-free fruit juice, and also limit day of fried rice. So medication protocol and therapeutic, we recommend of if fashion wall control is okay. For metformin is monotherapy and usually can be BD dose. For insulin insulin can BD dose was good lah. And then for basic insulin advice after iftar time. So question 2 will be presented by Dr. Nakir.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. So I will continue for question 2. 30 years old man with underlying RVD on 12-hourly convivial insists on fasting. What would your response be? Next slide. So, rukhsah and issue. Islam permits sick patients not to fast and to take medication during the month. But many with chronic stable disease often insist on fasting. So intake of drug doses is therefore difficult, and its adjustment to Ramadan is often not easy, and adherence may be compromised. So in HIV infection, ARV regimens are designed so that the concentration of the drugs are sufficient to suppress appreciable viral replication. The longer a dose is delayed, however, the lower the concentration falls and the more viral replication occurs. Thus, it is possible therapy with ARV having short half-life requiring 2 or more daily dosing may lead to subtherapeutic level during the fasting period. Next slide. So what do we do? First, we need to explore history. How was his adherence before? What is his viral load, CD4 count? How long he has been on ART? Any opportunistic infection, or has he achieved viral suppression? Next slide. So why treatment adherence? Treatment adherence is important to consistently suppress viral load, maintain high CD4 cell counts, prevent AIDS, prolong survival, and reduce risk of transmitting HIV to others. So poor adherence predicts continued progression to AIDS, encourages drug resistance, and increased risk of death. And adherence not only impact on viral suppression, but emergence of permanent treatment resistance. Next. So the timing interval of antiretroviral therapy, those timing adherence improve the accuracy of predicting undetected viral load or clinical success, important for drugs with short half-life to maintain level within therapeutic index. So pill count as a measure of treatment adherence, however, does not consider the dose timing interval. So with regards to the question, fasting in antiretroviral therapy, there is no strong evidence studying the impact of antiretroviral therapy timing on viral suppression or treatment failure. But there is a small study on 28 subjects which demonstrated no significant negative impact on virology or immunology outcomes of adjusting the timing, provided that patients do not miss the dose. Potential risk of altering pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamic by some behavioral changes associated with Ramadan fast. And larger studies need to confirm this, thorough assessment and evaluation of each and individual case. Next. So in summary, what can we do? Actually, fasting in Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars in Islam. So it is compulsory for healthy adults to fast. People with illnesses are exempted from fasting. So fasting actually is of spiritual issues for which patients can make their own decision. And the important thing is education to patients and understanding of the illness is important. Other option is patient to try fasting first. If he cannot continue due to illness limitation, then patient may iftar earlier. Or D-dose regimen such as tenofovir, lamivudine, or M3-citabine, efavirenz can be considered for fasting patient. And as a healthcare provider, we must equip ourselves with knowledge and always refer to religious authorities to offer appropriate advice to our patients. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think Dr. Naki, thank you. So for this, I would like to invite any of our expert panel to give any comments or to discuss further. Maybe Prof. Dr. Abdul Razak, you have any other comment to the group's members?
Doktor, boleh.
Okay.
Minta maaf lah cakap banyak sikit lah, but I think
Dr. Hamidun, okay.
negara banyak kot.
Ahlan Datuk, ahlan Datuk.
So, brother, mashallah, it's a good presentation and it's good, and you covered basically most of the thing. But this is the Siyam al-Umum, the fasting of the general people, which goes to is covered by the Fiqh domain of things. So, but there is the other part where fasting is the fasting in terms of the good character. So even the month of Ramadan, even if you cannot do the physical fasting, you can do the akhlaq fasting. That means in Ramadan, keep down your voice in Ramadan, stay away from doing bad words and so on. Be a better person in Ramadan, getting into the spirit of Ramadan, right? And also it can be reminded to the patient that, look, you are sick and and you need help from everywhere, including from your Lord, including from your Creator. So it is best that during this this holy month of Ramadan, where He says that in the Quran that He's close to you. Wa inni qarib ujibu da'watad da'i iza da'an. That in the month of Ramadan, this is one ayah that doesn't mention about Ramadan, right? But it is put in between there, the ayah of that. Oh Muhammad, no, it says that وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي, if my slave, my bondswoman asks about me, oh Muhammad, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ, huna goes back to Muhammad, inni qarib, he answered. He didn't say, Kulliyyah Muhammad, say Muhammad, no. He answered straight away to us. I am near, ujibu da'watad da'i iza da'an. I am near and I will answer the prayers of those who pray, who ask of me for something. So it's good that in this holy month of Ramadan, we observe our closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We observe the characters, the good akhlaq. Even though that we cannot fast due to our health reason, perhaps by the blessing, by the barakah of what we're doing in that spirit, Allah will give you the help as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hamidun. Yeah, is there any? Oh, okay.
Yeah, very short comment. This is, I think, third area after the area of Aqidah, which is Tawheed. Tawheed, the very opening presentation was related to our Tawheed, and it is raised very important question. Then we go to the area of wudu, salah. That is, wudu here is the way of purifying ourselves. So in Islam, we cannot practice salah and some ibadat without being pure. That is why our ulama usually the first chapter of their book is tahara. So this tahara, either it is by water or by tayammum. So this addresses the third area which is being addressing now is fasting. So I believe fasting is very important, and fiqh, this is very important. But our brothers and sisters here present it well in terms of giving license or identify as a medical doctor, advise somebody to fast or not to fast, not to fast. And the pregnant case, of course, maybe they need permission from the doctor. Do my case is serious to fast or not to fast? So as a Muslim, then you need to be honest, not to be emotional, and then you just say, no, your case is very serious, just better not to fast, and so on. But you need to take, as our brothers presented, take what you call serious study, so you can tell the fact. After that, then the person between him and Allah. So you say maybe your case is simple. So if you desire, you take azima, because not fasting is a ruqsa. So you can advise that your case. And opposite sometimes, some people you give ruqsa, but they insist to take the azima. A pregnant lady is child is very heavily pregnant, and then you worry about her, but she said, no, I want to continue. So your role as a medical doctor to convince such person is very, very important. And I think I have learned a lot from the comments of my other colleagues, especially comment given by Pro Aminuddin, practical case. And I believe that really to be involved in the practical case sometimes you learn even more better than the ulama, because you are practically involved in the case. So thank you very much to sharing such a very good experience, and that has to be exchanged with the theoretical people like us. We theoretically say, but ulama those who are involved with the medical doctors who are involved with, they know practically exactly what happening. So they are able to reflect the facts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Ibrahim. Ustaz Abdul Rahman, anything to add on?
Just a short comment.
Okay.
For those who are not medically fit to fast, my suggestion is, especially, for example, the diabetic patient, try to fast first. Then when the symptom, then they can break the fast. Because sometimes the patient, from the early of the morning, they can take the breakfast, but there's no symptom. Because for diabetic patient, sometimes okay, maybe try to fast first, then after some quite a while, then come with symptom, sign symptom and so on, and then break the fast. Just for my opinion, that's the best thing, the best way we can advise for the patient. That's all.
Yeah, thank you, Ustaz Abdul Rahman. Yeah, also it's like my experience as a specialist in UNG, we always advise patients to try to fast first. If you have a problem or you feeling of hypoglycemia or sometimes maybe less moving, you can break the fast. Usually I advise the patient. Okay, I think we should proceed with the group number 6. May I know, are you ready? Yeah, group number 6.
Yes, ready.
Okay, you may proceed. May I know your name?
My name is Dr. Hamid Juain.
Dr. Hamid.
Orthopedic.
Okay, you can share your slide.
Okay, can see my slide?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, we can see.
Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to everyone. Today, my name is Muhammad Hamid Juain bin Hamidun for Orthopedic. We'll be representing Group 6 for this seminar group presentation. We have a total of 3 questions. So for the first question, when a 50-year-old man with underlying hypertension comes for screening for Hajj eligibility, you note his renal function is CKD stage 5. He insists on going for Hajj. What is your response? So to answer this question, we need to know a bit regarding kidneys, which functions as to remove the toxins, maintaining acid-base balance, and regulating body water. So it also helps in producing hormone essential for the production of red blood cells. So patient will have high risk of developing chronic kidney disease due to underlying chronic diseases such as hypertension, diabetes mellitus, or any autoimmune diseases. So there are total 5 stages of chronic kidney disease, which in this case, stage 5, usually requiring dialysis, either hemodialysis or peritoneal dialysis. So from medical point of view, to answer the first question, dialysis patient is categorized as incurable disease. It needs constant dialysis support, close health center monitoring, and prone to complications such as infection, stroke, and heart diseases. They usually have limited stamina and endurance, which is required to perform Hajj, especially during the tawaf. So we need to understand the concept of istita'ah, which defined by Ibn Mansur in 1993 as the ability to do something. So from Islamic point of view, istita'ah refers to the ability of a person to perform the commandments of Allah. Based on Mazhab Ash-Shafi'i, there are 7 vital conditions that must be fulfilled by a Muslim to perform Hajj, which one of it is sound and healthy body. So in this patient, because of the CKD stage 5, he is actually not fit to go for Hajj. And then we can refer to National Fatwa Committee on the obligation of Hajj on patient with chronic disease. It stated during the committee meeting in 2008, which decided that patients suffering from chronic illnesses with no hope of recovery, such as kidney disease patients undergoing HD treatment and similar cases, are not obligated to perform Hajj pilgrimage. So chronic patients are required to perform the Badal Hajj pilgrimage if they are financially capable. If a person has recovered from chronic illness, they are obligated to perform the Hajj pilgrimage if they are financially capable. So a bit regarding Badal Hajj concept of performing the Hajj pilgrimage on behalf of someone else. So option available to Muslims who are physically unable to perform the Hajj themselves due to illness, old age, or any other valid reasons. So from religion point of view, Allah does not charge a soul except with that within its capacity, from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 286. And also from Surah Al-Fat, verse 17, there is no blame on the blind or the disabled or the sick for staying behind. The reference for the first question, we use National Fatwa Committee meeting and also concept of Badal Hajj. Coming to second question, a 30-year-old woman who had irregular menses, but usually her menstrual cycle ranged from 10 to 14 days. This month, she still had menses even up to her 20th day of menses. It is currently Ramadan, so the question is, can she perform Salah as well as fasting? And what is your explanation and reason? So for this question, we need to know a bit regarding the physiology of menses. Or menstrual cycle, which happen due to the different level of multiple hormones in woman body, such as lutein hormone, FSH, estrogen, and progesterone. So the normal menstrual cycle have a length of 21 to 35 days with mean days of 28. Normal period usually lasts for 3 to 7 days. In Islam, menstruation, also known as haid, the literal meaning of haid in Arabic is the flowing and cause of something. So the meaning of menstruation or haid in the context of Islamic law is the blood that flows from the uterus of a female at a particular time in the month and without any cause when she is healthy. Shortest duration is 24 hours with maximum days of 15. The description of menstrual blood in Islam is the color is black as though it is burnt. It is accompanied by abdominal pain and has an objectionable odor. The woman also might feel particularly hot during her cycle. So the question, can she perform Salah as well as fasting? So based on, in this case, based on her normal menses, which lasting 10 to 14 days, the remaining blood is not haid anymore and due to other condition. Further history is needed to ascertain the color of the blood. The menses beyond the normal height is called istihadah. At this moment, she should think her menses already ended and she should perform the Salah as well as fasting. One of the hadith which support this is the Prophet, peace be upon him, said to Fatimah binti Abi Hubaysh, when it is menstrual blood, it is dark and recognizable. So when it is like that, then stop praying. And when it is otherwise, do wudu and pray for what is that is from a vein, narrated by Abu Dawud and Al-Nasai, classed as Sahih by Ibn Hibban and Al-Hakim. So then I will explain a bit regarding istihadah. What is istihadah? Istihadah is an abnormal vaginal bleeding outside the time of monthly period, based on concept of tamyiz and adat. So tamyiz is looking at the sign for haid, the blood and its characteristic for the woman who experiences it. There are few rules to apply tamyiz, which is blood characteristic and also time duration. And that is the normal duration for haid, which is 6 to 7 days. So there are 3 types for istihadah. The first type is the woman who had a regular period before she experienced the istihadah. In this case, she should refer to the regular period that she used to have, and during that time, she should stop praying and she is subject to the rulings on menses, and anything other than that is istihadah. She is subject to the rulings on istihadah at that time. The second type of istihadah is when the woman did not have a regular period before the istihadah. In this case, she has been experiencing istihadah since the first time she got her menses. Then she should distinguish between different types of blood. Her menses is when the blood is dark or thick or has a distinctive odor, and she is subject to the rulings on menses at that time. Anything other than that is istihadah, and she comes under the rulings on istihadah. The last type of istihadah is when the woman does not have a regular period and cannot distinguish the blood properly. This woman should act on the basis of what the usual pattern is among women. So her menses is 6 or 7 days each month. She should start from the first time she sees blood. Everything apart from that is istihadah. One of the hadiths which support this is by Hamnah binti Jash, who said, "O Messenger of Allah, I bleed a great deal all the time. What do you think? Should I stop praying and fasting?" He said, "I suggest you use a piece of cotton, for it will absorb the blood." She said, "It is more than that." And in this report, he said that is a kick from the shaitan who count your menses as 6 or 7 days. Which is something between you and Allah. Then wash yourself, and when you see that you have become pure and you are certain of it, then pray for 24 or 23 days and fast. This hadith was narrated by Ahmad and Abu Dawud, narrated and classed as Sahih by Al-Tirmizi. So in summary, for question 2, in the scenario, her istihadah starts at day 16 because she usually the menses for her lasted 10 to 14 days. So after complete 15 days as per Imam Nawawi. So she should perform obligatory bath and do ibadat as refer to the hadith. And in view, she only seek opinion on day 20. So the past 5 to 6 days of her istihadah, she should replace her salah and fasting. For the last question,
you running out of time. Maybe you can simplify the question number 3.
Okay, for the last question, a woman plans to perform Hajj and request medication from you to delay menstruation. Is it permissible? So we need to know the pillars and obligatory steps of Hajj. So in which steps do a menstruating woman can or cannot do? So basically, a menstruating woman is permissible to perform the requisites of Hajj except tawaf in Baitullah. This is in accordance with the statement of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to Ummul Mu'minin, Aisyah radhiyallahu anhu. So I was, in which he said, in this hadith, I was menstruating when I reached Makkah, so I neither performed tawaf of the Kaabah nor the tawaf between Safa and Marwah. Then I inform Allah's messenger about it. He replied, "Perform all the ceremonies of Hajj like the other pilgrims, but do not perform tawaf of the Kaabah till you get clean." So it's supported also by Imam Al-Hafiz in another hadith. And we have tawaf al-Ifadah and also tawaf al-Wada. So from the summary, in case of menstruation, which happen after intending to enter ihram, a woman is allowed to perform all Hajj and Umrah works except the tawaf. In case the woman perform Hajj tamatuk and menstruate before the tawaf, if a woman chooses to perform Hajj tamatuk, then menstruates before performing tawaf, Umrah, and is worried about missing out on Hajj, she can intend ihram for Hajj along with Umrah, which is known as Hajj Kiran. With that, she is changed from Tamatuk Hajj to Kiran Hajj. This is the view of the majority of jurists, and she is subjected to dam. In case menstruation after wukuf and tawaf, if a woman menstruates after wukuf in Arafah and after tawaf rukun, while her period is not pure until she is about to return to her homeland, she does not need to perform tawaf wida and is not subject to dam. So is it permissible to take menstruation preventing pills to perform Hajj? From jurists' opinion, it is permissible to consume medicine to delay one's menstruation as long as it is safe and not harmful. And from other religious bodies, also they all said it is permissible for a woman to perform Hajj using prescription pills as long as discussed and advised from medical specialists. From medical point of view, if a woman worried she will have her menses during Hajj, she can take pills to prevent menstruation if she has no contraindication. However, if she has an irregular cycle, prolonged bleeding, or breakthrough bleeding after taking the pill, she needs to stop the pills immediately. So in conclusion, it is permissible for women pilgrims to take prescription pills to delay their menstruation for Hajj. There are also several matters that should be considered. And the first one, she must first get the advice of a medical specialist. If the consumption of pills to delay menstruation is harmful, then it should be avoided. And if the woman does not take the pill when she will have to wait, then she will have to wait until she is pure and her home country is far and her mahram or husband will not be able to wait for her, then it is permissible for her to take the pill. Here, these are some of the references. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. I think we shall proceed with the comment from the expert panel. Is there other comment?
Yes, give one. Maybe I think the examiner made trap to this group about the the case of performing Hajj when the menstruation, the get fatwa, do go or not. So they successfully say actual menstruation is not a reason to delay the Hajj. So it is a good success. But maybe my question is go to them, and also we need fatwa from our Sheikh Abdurrahman regarding the delay of menstruation in the performing. So they say it is allowed in case it's not harming and so on. So my question is, this is your own group fatwa, yeah, brother, or you have some references? This is question number one to the group. And the second is maybe we go to get the fatwa also from Sheikh Abdurrahman.
I need to answer the question. Okay. Okay, I forgot the fatwa, but based on one fatwa, if I'm not mistaken, for Malaysia fatwa, or in the Saudi another one, about for the delay menstruation, to take the pill. Okay, in general, it's permissible to take the pill to delay the menstruation, but the best is not to take it. The best not to take it, but if you take the pill, you can do it. It's based on a fatwa, but I forgot the fatwa. I think the first from Malaysia, the second is from Lajnah Daimah Saudi, if I'm not mistaken. Clear my answer?
Okay, thank you, Ustaz.
Yeah, your answer is clear. I was putting question also to the group, to the presenters. Do they have reference? That is the question, actually.
Yeah. I think I have a slide, but this I need to revise to check again. I think from Lajnah Daimah Saudi and from fatwa our country, Malaysia.
Okay.
I think we have one question from the participant, Ustaz Abdurrahman. Regarding the CKD stage 5, if the patient insists want to go to Hajj and the private agent willing to arrange for dialysis at Mecca and Madinah, we can allow them to go for Hajj.
I'm not sure about this because the decision, the last decision is from Tabung Haji. But if what I know, if for the Umrah is permissible, we can do it because Umrah is not just a few days. But for Hajj, the decision is Tabung Haji. I'm not sure the updated about this issue lah. But the issue because 2 years ago, I think this question already asked by the others from outside when I at Mufti Wilayah office about this problem. But the answer is it depends on tabung haji decision. Tabung haji decision because the Saudi government have the tabung haji the right to pick to take the rules, the principle and so on. Who can perform the Hajj? Who can perform the Hajj? Sorry, I'm not sure about this question.
Okay, thank you, Ustaz Abdul Rahman.
Actually, just to add, sorry, just now I want to have, to collect one paper from the other side. Maybe you remind me to say something, but just to complement to what Dr. Ibrahim said and what Dr. Abdul Rahman said and what the team presented. Apart from, to some extent, allowing these pills to be used while performing Hajj, I think Sir Abdul Rahman also can confirm that some ulama also added another point saying that, they put this question to the medical professionals. Is it healthy to use these pills to delay the menstruation period or the timing? Is it healthy? What happens if there are some, health implications? And actually they are worried about, whether there has been some studies conducted, whether, using these pills to delay the menstruation has health implications for women, as in this case. So I'm just asking this one to the presenter, in your reading, are there cases where the female who have used this kind of, pills to delay her menstruation has, encountered some healthy problems due to the pills that she's using? So, yeah, this is, normally we ask muftis, but now we are asking the medical doctors.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Safina, one of the members from from the group 6. So actually for the pill for stop for menstruating, actually according to fatwa, it is permissible, but it must be supervised by medical personnel. So actually we already put it in the slide, but maybe in we hide the slides. Actually there is if no contraindication, then the woman can take the pills, but the woman must know that there is the adverse effect of the pills, such as for example, there is a breakthrough bleeding, spotting, or maybe they will have a irregular menstrual. So there is also some studies from I think few studies regarding, actually Malaysia also has study regarding the practice of the taking OCP to delay the menses. Then they also mentioned that there is 76% it can delay the menses, but some of the women will have issue like spotting and breakthrough bleeding when taking the medicine when performing for Umrah. So first, we must ensure that the woman didn't have any contraindications such as risk of blood clot, severe hypertension, and other medical comorbidities that against the use of the contraception.
Actually,
so if no contraindication, then by right, the woman can permissible to use the pills.
Yeah, in other words, Dr. Safina, as you said, and I think I read somewhere, this permissibility, and Mr. Abdul Rahman, inshallah, will complement, this permissibility of allowing these pills to be used during Hajj is actually conditional, not, open ticket. As long as, it has no health complications or health implication to the female who is using it, then I saw, the ulama may say, okay, you can go ahead. And then the health implications here, they include, the issue of I do not know. I'm not a medical doctor, and I wish medical doctors can tell. Does it have like some kind of like headache, dizziness? Is it going to affect the focus and the attention of the female who is using it? Why? Because when you go to Hajj, remember, Hajj, you need to have, focus in Ibaadah, because you are going there with khushu', and dhikr. So the whole journey of Hajj is actually a journey for Ibaadah. So if the person is already struggling with healthy conditions, then yeah. So I think medical doctors need to do more studies, to go and clarify that point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Is there any question from the participant? The other participant? Okay, I think we should proceed to the other group. Thank you, Prof. Abdul Razak and also Ustaz Abdul Rahman. Okay, shall we continue with group 7? Yeah, you may share your slide. Please make it as a slideshow.
Ini kat Zoom.
Okay. Slideshow, ya.
Ini kat Zoom. Zoom memang. Okay, kita mana dia? Tengok. Dia bukan ni kat slideshow, mana kat Zoom ni? Kita dudukkan tu, dia mungkin awak kat Zoom lah. Zoom ni, sini. Tutup lah kamera ni. Tutup.
Maybe can we share Dr. Muhammad Faiz?
Wait a minute, please. Sorry.
Maybe you can reshare again.
Okay. Okay, share. Okay. Mana dia?
Wait a minute, I will ask my friend to share the video, sorry.
It's okay.
Start sharing. Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Muhammad Faiz.
Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone. My name is Muhammad Faiz bin Rosli. Inshallah today I will be representing Group 7, supervised by Assistant Professor Dr. Nubaiyah, to represent regarding zakat and wakaf, its role in medical practice and medical institution. Okay, and then this is our team member. There is 7 of us. Okay, and then pause next slide. Okay, this is a table of our content today. And about the zakat in Arabic perspective, derived from word zakat means to grow, to purify, and also to increase. From the perspective of the sharak, it is issuing certain property at a certain rate according to certain conditions to be allocated to certain groups. It is fardu ain for every Muslim who fulfill all obligatory conditions. And next slide, okay.
And then regarding the wakaf, it derived from the word wakafah, mean to stop, restrain, or withhold. From the Sharia perspective, any property to which the wakif retains the right to the property from any sale, purchase, inheritance, hibah, and will, while maintaining its physical resources for welfare with the intention of bringing the wakif closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Okay, next slide. Okay, from the Wakaf State of Selangor, it is to surrender any property, benefits or interest, expertise and services that may give future benefit or interest. Next slide. There is similarities and difference between zakat and the wakaf. The similarity is it can be given to non-Muslim if it's not for the purpose of immorality. It's managed by Jauhar in Malaysia, and it's made by the wealthy for the benefit of the needy. It is sunnah worship that is strongly encouraged by Islam and is often mentioned in the Al-Quran Hadith Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it's also developmental and economic sustainability in Islam. It is a worship that maintains social balance among the Muslims. It is two-dimensional worship, which is vertical, relationship between Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and humans, and horizontal, which is relationship between the humans. It is a form of worship that requires a lot of sincerity in order to get the reward and the paradise of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, because things involving property are very easy to lose sincerity. Okay, next. Okay, and then this is the difference between the zakat and the wakaf. The zakat is obligatory to all Muslim who fulfill the conditions. It has specific receivers and property and also restriction to time. But regarding the wakaf, it is recommended in Islam, unlimited receivers and unspecific property, and also there is no restriction of time. And then about the zakat, it has a fixed payment rate, and also it is issued usually through amil zakat. And about the wakaf, it has no fixed payment rate and it has no need to go through the amil. Okay, that is we positive advantage of the both zakat and the wakaf. But the zakat is cleaning and nourishing the property of zakat prayers, establishing the gratefulness from the gift endured by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, establish the relationship between Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and between the humans, express peace and tranquility in the hearts and soul of zakat prayers, establish unity among Muslims in economic and financial matters. And regarding the wakaf, it manifests devotion to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, get lasting welfare during life and after the wakif dies, strengthen the unity of the ummah, share the benefits among the community, and ensure the preservation of the thinking and sharing the asset of Muslims. Next slide. Okay, there is type of zakat. There is two types of zakat, which is al-fitri, individual, which is we call zakat fitrah, and also al-mal, wealth or zakat harta, which including income, our income, saving, business, gold, shares, agriculture, and also livestock. Next slide. Okay. And it's a law of calculation zakat in Malaysia. It consists of assessment of the zakat rate, and also zakat base. In simple, there is assess when the entity has been in operation for at least 12 lunar months, which is called in Malay how, or in Arabic how, or also zakat base, which is we call nisab. Okay, the zakat base is actually is the least amount that required for the person to give zakat. And the zakat rate basically 2.5% of the zakat base. Okay, next slide. Okay, regarding the 8 categories of people entitled to receive zakat, qala Allah Ta'ala fil Quran al-Karim fi surah At-Taubah verse 60, innamas sadaqatu lil fuqara'i wal masakin wal 'amilin 'alayha wal mu'allafati qulubuhum wa fi riqabi wal gharimin wa fi sabilillahi wa bis sabil faridatan min Allah wallahu alimun hakim. Sadaqallahu alim. There is 8 category of people entitled to receive zakat: the poor, the vulnerable, service providers, people whose heart to be reconciled, freeing captives or slaves, person in debt, for the sake of Allah, or traveler. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, and there is policy of wakaf. In Islam, a person who administer and manage wakaf asset is called mutawalli, nazir or qayyim. The duties of this mutawalli, nazir or qayyim is to safeguard the asset, ensure that it is kept in good condition, generate some form of gains from it to be given out to deserving beneficiaries, and also to keep assets safe and free from the misuse. Okay, next slide. Okay, in Malaysia, we have state Islamic religious councils which are responsible for the administration of wakaf, which have the power to convert, lease, or engage another party to the land on a profit-sharing basis to develop and obtain returns from the property as long as the acts comply with the Sharia. It also conduct the appropriate activities for the sake of the needy. Okay, next slide. Okay, in order to coordinate the management of wakaf throughout states in Malaysia, with the Department of Wakaf, which is called Jauhar, was set up in 2004, which is by our fifth Malaysian Prime Minister at that time, Tun Abdullah Badawi. Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, its mission is to enhance the quality system to work-class standard and also to upgrade socio-economic status of the Ummah through the empowerment of Wakaf, Zakat, Mal, and Hajj institution. Okay. There is two types of wakaf in Malaysia: traditional form of wakaf, which such as setting up mosque, Islamic school, musalla, and also contemporary wakaf such as cash wakaf, wakaf share, and also wakaf land. Okay, next slide. How can we improve to optimize the role of zakat and wakaf? We can raise awareness about the importance of zakat and wakaf for healthcare education by organizing outreach campaigns and using various media platforms. And also we can establish of more wakaf-based healthcare institution and also develop hybrid model of wakaf zakat for zakat recipient in healthcare. And also we can ensure proper governance and transparency and management of the zakat wakaf fund and updates and reports on how the funds are being utilized, and also collaborate with non-NGO and also educational institutions to identify designated candidates for scholarship and medical assistance and to maximize the impact of the funds. Okay, this is a few examples how wakaf model in healthcare setting. The first one is the renal care for hemodialysis basically, and the second one is the for cancer care to support screening and palliative care service, to support cancer research center, and also to aid patients and family members during in-house treatment. Okay, and the last one is about the stroke care center, stroke care, which is to buy assistive device, access to rehab care at home, and also for research investment on brain or neuroscience study. Okay, and there is many example of wakaf in other Islamic history or in Islamic country or history. The first one is for development of the Masjid Quba that been built by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second one is the Masjid An-Nabawi has become the second mosque that been built in Madinah after Hijrah event. Next slide. And also, Sahabah Uthman bin Affan had under all Rawmah wealth, which is the main source of the water supply for Muslim at that time. And also, wakaf money implemented during the kingdom of the Uthman. And also in Singapore, the Muslim worker make contribution, and they managed to collect as much as $6 million Singapore each year. Okay, next slide. In the UK,
you are running out of time.
Okay, I will. Okay.
Summarize the.
Okay. After that, in the UK, there is also organization in Kuwait and also in the United States, Nigeria, UAE, and also in Turkey. Next slide. Okay, that is the last few questions. It is possible to pay zakat directly to Asnaf without going through Amil. It is possible. Okay, however, right now in the modern world, we have institutions such as, for example, in Kelantan, we have MAID. They are more organized and had more information regarding the person who needed and can distribute the zakat more properly. Okay, and the second question, can we accept the zakat, wakaf for non-Muslim yes, it's allowed. There is a different opinion regarding scholar for ulama Syafi'i, but it can be allowed because they will be rewarded for their charity in the world, but in the hereafter, no reward will be given. And also, how about the wakaf to the non-Muslim? It also be allowed. There is what we call the Sheikh Allah Yarham Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qardawi said we can allow the wakaf to given to the non-Muslim. Okay, I think that's all for our group discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Faiz. I think for this group, I would like to call maybe Assistant Prof. Dr. Hasbullah to give a comment to the presenter. Dr. Hasbullah. Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Actually, I don't have any. Actually, I don't have any comment lah. Okay, since the use of zakat ataupun the concept of zakat is widely acceptable ataupun well known lah among Muslim today, and it play a very important role, okay, in helping, especially related with asnaf lah, okay, especially for patient, and there are a lot of benefit from wakaf institution, okay, in order to establish ataupun to help the need, okay, in a medical institution, okay, and we have to always refer to our to discussion of our scholars, because the process of wakaf, zakat, tabarruk, okay, is widely used today, okay, based on the need ataupun the situation, okay. So benda ini boleh antara benda yang baiklah untuk dimanfaatkan bersama lah, okay. Like today we the use of wakaf tunai kan, yang begitu dapat sambutan yang banyak lah, okay. So for me, zakat play important role lah, okay, to help especially needy people lah. Sebagaimana in Malaysia, zakat is well established, okay, in terms of dia punya collection and also distribution lah, okay, especially to those who are in need, okay. Wallahu a'lam.
Thank you, Dr. Hasbullah. I think we still have a few minutes before we proceed to last group. Any question from the other participant to the presenter or to our expert panel? Maybe we can take in one or two questions regarding the zakat and also the wakaf. Okay. Okay, there is no question. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Faiz, for the presentation. So we proceed for the last group for today. I would like to invite the presenter from the group 8. Dr. Iza Azmi.
Yes. Doctor, can you see my slide?
Yes, I can see your slide, yeah.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. I'm Iza from NS, from Group 8. My group members are Dr. Yasir, Dr. Hamiza, Dr. Muni, Dr. Majdia, and our supervisor is Assistant Prof. Dr. Imana from ED. So this is like the continuation from the previous group lah. We have been given 2 questions regarding wakaf and zakat. So this is just a recap from the previous group presentation lah, the definition of wakaf, which is actually derived from the Arabic word wakafa, which means to stop, to freeze, or to detain.
So it's an endowment made by a Muslim without expecting any return. So the purpose of wakaf in the context of Maqasid Sharia is to uphold the welfare and well-being of individuals and society as a whole. Second, to offer prosperity of human well-being in dunya, as well as to guarantee their salvation in the hereafter. This is our case scenario. A medical doctor would like to use money from wakaf to begin men's health service in the department clinic, which is to buy medications for erectile dysfunction. So the question is this appropriate? We have complete the task. So we think that this is the application of Maqasid Sharia. So one of the main Islamic ethical principles is to save life and to preserve the honor of current and future generations. So in this case, it is more fitting that the cost to buy the medications is to fulfill the preservation of lineage and dignity rather than the preservation of life and health. And also the treatment for erectile dysfunction among married couples, the aim is to protect the sanctity of the marriage, so as well as to ensure the continuity of the lineage. And in this context, to buy the medication is actually promoting the public welfare and also for the maslahah of the ummah. So the provision of healthcare service, including treatment for medical conditions, like in this case, erectile dysfunction, will serve the public interest. So it can improve the overall health of affected individuals and also enhance their quality of life. So according also to the Maqasid Sharia, the sexual relations are a need hajat for every human being. So if there are problems in the marital relationship, like in this case, you cannot have zuriat, it can have negative effects on the couple, for example, like divorce or risk of committing adultery. And also the concept of wakaf involves dedicating wealth or assets for charitable purposes. So including healthcare initiatives to benefit the community. So the wakaf is to benefit the community, hence the community use it for themselves for this purpose, so it's good lah. So starting a men's health service using this wakaf fund can be viewed as fulfilling this objective. So it can provide the medical assistance to those in need like this couple. But in order to complete this process, you need the consultation and also expert advice, which is important. So when making decisions regarding the use of wakaf fund, it is essential to seek guidance from qualified Islamic scholars. They are well-versed in Islamic jurisprudence, which is the fiqh, and also knowledgeable in medical matters, and also need the consultations to ensure that it aligns with Maqasid Sharia and also Islamic principle. So to use the wakaf money for healthcare purposes, so there are terms that need to be fulfilled. Number one, the medication must be lawful. Number two, the target recipients are those who are married. Number three, it should not be used to treat those who would use it for adultery. And also last but not least, screening for the underlying disease among recipients. So this is the responsible for the doctors. So as a conclusion, for this question, using wakaf fund to start a men's health service in the department clinic, specifically for buying medications for erectile dysfunction treatment, can be deemed appropriate from the perspective of Maqasid Sharia. But it is crucial to ensure the initiative complies with Islamic principle and also to provide legitimate medical care and also ultimately serve the welfare and well-being of the community. And we need to consult, so there must be a collaboration with the qualified Islamic scholars and also medical professionals so that we can give valuable insights to make informed decisions in line with the objectives of Islamic law. So that's all for the question number one, Doctor. I'll pass to my colleague, Dr. Hamiza, to continue with the zakat. Share, stop share.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Izzah.
Assalamualaikum. Can everyone see my slide?
Waalaikumsalam. Yes, I can see.
Okay.
You may proceed. You have about 5 minutes.
Okay. So we'll start with our second question. Case scenario number 2. Okay, a patient would like to ask for help to support her application to get assistance from the Zakat officer in order to help him with Hajj registration fee. He is a known case of hypertension and diabetes mellitus, but did not have a stable job or monthly financial income. So this is a continuation from our previous topic regarding Zakat and the help that we can offer to the patients. So in this case, the main issue is patient is asking assistance from us regarding his registration fee for Hajj while he is having hypertension and diabetes mellitus. But however, he did not have any stable job or monthly financial income. So, for my next. Okay. So let us talk about the recipient of zakat based on Al-Quran. Like Surah At-Tawbah ayat 60, zakat expenditures are only for the poor and for the needy, and for those employed to collect zakat, and for bringing hearts together for Islam, and for freeing captives or slaves, and for those in debt, and for the cause of Allah, and for the stranded traveler, an obligation imposed by Allah. And Allah is knowing and wise. So as you can see in this question, patient is actually did not have any stable job or monthly financial income, so he needs, but he wants to go to Hajj. So conditions for performing Hajj in Surah Al-Imran ayat 97, it stated that it need a clear sign such as the standing place of Abraham, and whoever enters it shall be safe, and due to Allah from the people is a pilgrimage to the house, and whoever is able to find the way, but whoever disbelieves, and then indeed Allah is free from need of the world. So it is stated that who can go to Hajj, but we'll talk about this later. What is istita'ah? The ability of a person to perform the commandments of Allah, requirements to be fulfilled before a Muslim is obliged or compulsory to perform Hajj. So the concept of istita'ah in Hajj, according to Shafi'i mazhab, having physical ability, having vehicle or transportation, having financial stability, having enough supplies of food and drinks for himself and his animal right, travel safety, applicable only to women, which is with the participation with the family members, husband or male family members to perform Hajj for the Muslim females, and the ability to travel before Hajj period. So in this case, patient is not having any financial stability, very likely to have a vehicle or transportation, and we'll talk about this in the next topic. In Hanbali Mazhab, Hanbali scholars opinionated that Hajj is not an obligatory on people who ask for financial support from others in order to perform Hajj. Okay, so by Al-Kasani 1986, Hajj is optional and not obligatory on those who are sick, suffering on chronic diseases, paralyzed, blind, and disabled. This one is from Hanbali Mazhab also. So here it is stated that patient who is suffering from chronic diseases is not obligated to go to Hajj. So I share the istita'ah based on reality in Malaysia. As you can see, the bayaran haji, cost haji in Malaysia around 30,000, 30 to 31,000 with some incentive given by the government. But in this case, in this question number 2, it stated that patient need the help to even register for the haji with that underlying illness that he has. The issue here, zakat is permissible to give for those who in need of help and poor. However, you are not allowed to give it to anyone for the specific purpose of performing Hajj. The reason for this is that Hajj is only obligatory upon those who are able to do it, such as financial, health, safety, transportation, and obtaining a quota and visa before performing the Hajj. So according to scholars, financial ability is one of the most important factors to be considered in determining the obligation to do Hajj, if not the only one. So, while zakat is to be given to those who are more deserving than those who wish to perform Hajj, which is not obligatory upon them, and you are not allowed to give zakat for those who wants to perform Hajj, especially when there are far more deserving people to receive it. So zakat should not be spent on Hajj, so it should not be given to whoever wants to go for Hajj, as they are not included in the 8 kinds of people mentioned in the Quran. So as a conclusion, in Hajj, istita'ah includes various aspects such as financial, health, safety, transportation, obtaining a quota and visa before performing the Hajj. So the situation above happens as it involves badaniyah, physical, such as having a healthy and fit body, maliyah, as sufficient finances. All the requirements above need to be understood well to ensure that Muslims perform their Hajj properly. Thus, zakat cannot be given for those who are not fulfill the criteria of receiving zakat and the criteria to perform Hajj, as in this case that we discussed just now. So this is our references. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hamiza. We'll proceed with the Q&A. Maybe I would like to invite maybe Prof. Dr. Nazri. Is there any question to the presenter or some discussions regarding the
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
basically, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. I can hear Prof.
Okay. So basically, I think wakaf, the main thing is sustainability lah. You need to sustain the thing that you want to do lah. Otherwise, it become like a sedekah. Sedekah is like one-off thing you give and then you do. But wakaf a little bit difficult to maintain because you need to make the thing you develop is sustainable that can continue. Because otherwise, it will die off very quickly. So that is one of the issues that it's not just giving. I think the main thing is the organization that manage this wakaf. Otherwise, it's like become like many wakaf like in Malaysia, like you give the land and become like apa tu? Beluka or hutan ke. So you need to make wakaf very, very useful. So similarly, I think you want to develop something through wakaf, you need a good system and somebody to manage it so it can become sustainable. So
contribute to the green environment.
Yeah. Maybe can give wakaf river wakaf, Prof. Dato'.
Yeah.
Say wakaf or something.
But in that concept, since wakaf has been what they call it, dikembangkan, has been expanded into a wakaf time, into a wakaf income contribution, this sort of thing, we might now think of about crowdfunding in that form, right? And or you say sadaqah, which is consistent, like potong gaji and so on and so forth, this sort of thing. So that's also part of it. So it depends. It depends how you look at it. But if somebody give about 10 million ringgit sadaqah, then it can be managed in the form of sustainable income as well. Okay, okay, that's the point on that. My question I was asking that you were saying that just now that for what they call it, community welfare or community health, the clinic for male, the EDS clinic, if it is serious enough that in a population and it's such the extent that it contributed to divorce cases, to the breakup of families, it might not be at the level of hajiyat. So that may be in general, but case-to-case basis, it may be a daruriyat. So here, in my discussion with Datuk Mat Saad Baki, our sexologist, we call kenal dia, and also Professor Ismail Tambi atau Dr. Ismail Tambi, also andragogy's ni kan, health ni. Yeah. So they were mentioning about how sometimes because of lack of knowledge about this thing, there is a taboo about a male have to go to the clinic to take care of this thing. This is in our budaya, and I had a good experience last time when giving motivational talk to the timbalan pengarah and pengarah of LHDN, those who are going to retire in about one year's time, the longest, those who are going to in 2 months' time. That is the earliest. And there was a course given to them how to deal with life after retirement. And from the what they call survey given, it seems most are going to spend their time traveling. So there will be that Jusa C, the least of them, I would think, or perhaps 54. Right? And there was no thinking about financial management. So there was this input about financial management. There was no thinking about when you were working, you were only at home, let's say from 6 to so on. But now you're going to be home from the morning until at night with the same person you have been with for so many years. And you selalu tinggal, selalu berpisah. Sebab wife pergi kerja sana, husband pergi kerja sini. And from the Japanese punya scenario, that 70%, more than 70% of divorces happen after their retirement, right? So this is a problem over there. Together. So part of being together is the understanding of the sensual and the sexual. So this is what I got from them. So if a clinic of that nature, for some people, it might be daruriyat, and they cannot find other places to go, it would be a good thing for the community. And also, I think if you can collect the data, it's just an observation that this EDS is afflicting people younger and younger now. Perhaps lifestyle, perhaps of food, perhaps because of stress and so on and so forth. So thank you very much. I would support that very much.
Yeah, Dato', thank you, Dato', for the great opinion. I think we still have a few minutes. Is there any question from the floor? You may ask our expert panel and also the presenter. You also can type the question in the chat box. Okay. I think is that if there is no question, we shall end our session. Thank you to the presenter, Dr. Izzah, and also Dr. Hamiza. And also thank you for our expert panel, Dato' Hamidun. Thank you for great sharing knowledge with us, and also Prof. Nazri. Okay. Okay. Before we end our session, I would like to make an announcement. For tomorrow's session, we will start at 8 AM for registration. And then I would like to advise or the presenter for tomorrow to present in the concise, because we only have 10 minutes for presentation. And then you should summarize the presentation, and then we will have much more time for discussion and also for expert opinion. I think if there is no other question, we should end our session with Tasbih Kifaro and also Surah Wal-As. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for our expert opinion. Thank you, Dato'.
Sama-sama. Thank you for inviting. Thank you. Great sharing session.
Yeah, Dato'.
You. You came to me in a time of despair. I called on you, you were there with love. What would my life be to not know the unseen, the worlds between? For you I'd sacrifice, for you I'd give my life, anything. just to be with you. I feel so lost at times by all the hurt and lies. Now all I want is to be with you. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Mustafa ala habibika nabika Mustafa. Showed me right from wrong, told me to be strong. Need you more than ever, Ya Rasulullah. You came to me and out of me. Need you more than ever, Ya Rasulullah. You filled my heart with love, showed me the light above. Now all I want is to be with you. You are my one true love. Taught me to never judge. Now all I want is to be with you. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Mustafa Mustafa ala habibika nabika Mustafa. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Mustafa Mustafa ala habibika nabika Mustafa. Be with you, you are my one true love. Taught me to never judge. Now all I want is to be with you. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Mustafa Mustafa ala habibika nabika Mustafa. You came to me in a time of despair. I called on you, you were there with love. What would my life be to not know the unseen, the worlds between? For you I'd sacrifice, for you I'd give my life, anything, just to be with you. I feel so lost at times by all the hurt and lies. Now all I want is to be with you. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Mustafa Mustafa